Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk, back in another video today. And today we're going to be talking about a potential trade that would send wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins to the Buffalo Bills in a blockbuster deal. Not a blockbuster deal, but for the Buffalo Bills, adding in someone like D-Hop. When you already have someone like Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, will just make Josh Allen an even better quarterback than he already is. So let's get into it. So over yesterday, it was reported that the favorites for D-Hop right now are the Buffalo Bills, and they are going to be the team that will go after D-Hop the most. And yeah, I think that's definitely true. But we'll see what happens with regarding DeAndre Hopkins and seeing where he ends up, because there's a lot of suitors for him. I mean, the list goes, there's about 5 teams that are interested. But the team that is the most intriguing and the team that probably has the most interest are the Buffalo Bills. And let's get into it. So now I have 2 trade ideas that I'm going to go over in this video. So number 1 is my original idea. The Buffalo Bills received only DeAndre Hopkins, and that's it for the Bills. And then the Cardinals receive their second-round pick, which is pick 51, I believe, 50-something. So they receive that pick at 51, or whatever it is. And then they receive a conditional pick that would be, let's say, a 5th-rounder if Hopkins gets whatever, whether it's let's say 8 touchdowns or 1,000 receiving yards, something like that. If Hopkins gets something, it could be a little, like maybe 900 receiving yards or something. Who knows? We'll see. But Hopkins has to do something for it to become a pick. So how about that? That being it. But yeah. So in that case, Hopkins goes there to Buffalo or a second and a potential pick if he does really well. And keep in mind, I think he had 700 receiving yards last season, and that was only in 8 games because he missed the first 8 games due to suspension. So I think D-Hop can definitely get 1,000 yards in a season. But moving on, the second trade is a little more different here. You got another player involved in this one. So it's been reported that Ed Oliver could be on his way out from the Buffalo Bills defensive tackle. Pretty decent defensive tackle as well. The Arizona Cardinals, they're a team who just lost Zach Allen to the Broncos. He follows Vance Joseph. I think there is a real possibility that the Buffalo Bills trade Ed Oliver. Is it to the Cardinals? I don't know. We'll see, but here's my trade idea for that. So, I have DeAndre Hopkins and a 5th-round pick heading to the Buffalo Bills, and then Ed Oliver, a 3rd-round pick, and a 6th-round pick heading to the Cardinals. So, for this trade, the Cardinals have to give up 2 picks. The Cardinals have to give up 1 pick, but they're at the same time they're also receiving 2, a 3rd and a 6th, and then also a decent defensive tackle in Ed Oliver. Jonathan Gannon, you got a guy who's a defensive coordinator coming in as the head coach. He's a good defensive coach. Should be interesting to see him with that Cardinals defense, especially with that number 3 pick. I think that's probably why. There's a lot of talk the Cardinals could trade that number 3 pick, but in my opinion, I don't think that's going to happen, because I think with Jonathan Gannon under the head coach, they want this defense to improve. And at 3, I think they got their eyes on Will Anderson. So for Will Anderson to possibly come into Arizona, and then with Ed Oliver maybe potentially coming in that trade, you got the D-line improving a lot there. So you got Ed Oliver and a 3rd and a 6th heading to the Cardinals, and DeAndre Hopkins in a 5th-round pick heading to the Buffalo Bills. Those are really my 2 only, potential trade ideas for DeAndre Hopkins going to the Bills. I think more likely will be trade number 1, but trade number 2 is a decent option, and we'll just see what happens with D-Hop is he go to another team? Does he go to the Bills? If he goes to the Bills, you guys never know which one's the better trade idea in your opinion, trade 1 or trade 2. And we'll see. And that's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts. Peace out.